There is an essential concept in psychology which recognizes the ability of an individual to accept themselves completely. It includes the ability to accept their strengths, weaknesses, emotions, past experiences, and present realities without engaging in constant self-criticism or self-rejection. A person who loves themselves during moments of success or comfort is not superficial, but maintaining an enduring internal attitude of respect, acceptance, and compassion toward his own being. Self-love is what makes one to recognize that his true worth is not dependent on external achievements and others' validation, but arises from the deep understanding that every being possesses inherent value simply by existing. Self-love can only be understood properly when it is clearly distinguished from ego, pride, and selfishness, which are often wrongly associated with it. Ego is commonly defined by an inflated sense of superiority that relies on comparison and external validation. Pride may be connected to one's achievements or identity, yet it can still be influenced by outside approval. And selfishness involves placing one's own needs above others without empathy or fairness. Self-love, however, stands apart from all of these. It is not about being above others or ignoring them, but about cultivating inner balance, respect, and emotional harmony. A self-loving person does not derive worth from comparison, nor do they neglect themselves to satisfy everyone else. Instead, they operate from a stable awareness of both their own needs and the needs of others, rooted in authenticity. Development starts with knowing yourself deeply. It starts with knowing your thoughts, habits, triggers, values, and goals. Self-awareness helps you identify what affects your mental and emotional well-being. Self-awareness is one of the most essential pillars of personal development and emotional maturity. It forms the foundation upon which meaningful self-love, self-regulation, and purposeful living are built. To build self-awareness means to develop a deep and honest understanding of oneself at multiple levels, like mental, emotional, behavioral, and even value-based. It is the process of turning attention inward and observing your own thoughts, habits, reactions, and patterns of behavior with clarity and honesty. This requires continuous reflection and conscious observation of how and why you behave in certain ways across different situations in life. We all move through life reacting automatically to situations without questioning why we think or behave the way we do. Without awareness, we are all conditioned to believe every thought as truth, even when those thoughts are negative, irrational, or distorted. But the psychological growth begins when we step back and mentally observe our own mind as if we are an outside witness. Negative self-talk gradually develops by the influence of environment, social comparisons, and past experiences. If you are frequently criticized in childhood or brought up in highly competitive or judgmental environments, it causes you to internalize external criticism and to reproduce it within your own mind. Over time, this internalized criticism becomes automatic, forming a habitual thought pattern that arises unconsciously. These patterns can be so deeply ingrained that you may not even recognize them as self-talk. Instead, you believe these thoughts as objective truth about yourself. Practicing positive self-talk is one of the most powerful, yet often underestimated aspects of psychological development. The way we speak to ourselves internally has a direct and continuous impact on our mindset, behavior, self-esteem, and overall mental health. The human mind is constantly interpreting experiences through language, and this interpretation often occurs internally in the form of thoughts that resemble speech. These thoughts are not neutral. They carry emotional weight and influence perception. For example, when a mistake occurs, one person may internally respond with thoughts such as, "I am so stupid," or "I always fail," while another may think, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from it." Although both individuals experience the same external event, their internal interpretation completely changes the emotional outcome. The first response leads to shame, discouragement, and reduced confidence, while the second fosters learning, acceptance, and emotional stability. This demonstrates that self-talk is not merely commentary, but a powerful psychological mechanism that shapes emotional reality. Practicing positive self-talk does not mean ignoring reality or constantly repeating unrealistic affirmations without substance. It involves replacing distorted, harsh, or unhelpful internal statements with thoughts that are balanced, constructive, and grounded in reality. For instance, instead of saying, "I am a failure because I did not succeed," a more balanced form of self-talk would be, "I did not succeed this time, but I understand what went wrong and can improve." This shift does not change the fact of failure, but it changes the meaning assigned to it, which in turn changes emotional response and future behavior. A boundary is not a wall that isolates you from others, but rather a clear internal and external guideline that defines acceptable and unacceptable behavior in relationships, work, social interactions, and personal life. The ability to set boundaries is deeply connected to the understanding that every individual has emotional, physical, and psychological resources, and these resources must be protected in order to maintain balance, health, and long-term well-being. This begins with the recognition of personal worth. When you lack self-love or self-respect, it is hard for you to assert boundaries because fear of rejection, conflict, or disapproval from others appears huge. But when you understand that your energy, time, and mental health are valuable, and that it is your responsibility to protect them, it creates the psychological foundation of healthy boundaries. A critical aspect of boundary setting is the ability to say no, which is often one of the most difficult yet essential skills in personal development. Saying no is not an act of selfishness or rejection of others, rather it is an affirmation of your priorities. Many individuals struggle with saying no because they associate it with guilt or fear of damaging relationships. But when you develop healthy boundaries, it allows you to say no respectfully and clearly. Taking care of the mind and body is one of the most essential expressions of self-love and personal responsibility because it directly reflects how you value your own existence, health, and long-term well-being. Understand that the mind and body are interconnected systems that constantly influence each other. Sleep, nutrition, physical activity, and relaxation are not isolated habits, but integrated components which determine how effectively you function in daily life. When these components are balanced, you experience improved concentration, emotional stability, productivity, and resilience. When they are neglected, even simple tasks can feel overwhelming, and emotional regulation becomes significantly more difficult. Caring for the body and mind is not simply about avoiding illness, but about optimizing human potential and ensuring sustainable well-being. We are not only mental or emotional entities, but also physical organisms, where our biological functioning deeply influences our thoughts, moods, energy levels, and psychological stability. Self-care is not a luxury or occasional activity reserved for moments of stress or exhaustion. It is a continuous and intentional practice of maintaining balance between physical health and mental clarity. Physical exercise plays a similarly important role in maintaining both body and mind. However, its benefits extend far beyond the physical body. Exercise has been shown to release endorphins, which are natural chemicals in the brain that improve mood and reduce stress. It also helps regulate anxiety, improve sleep quality, and increase mental clarity.
Even moderate forms of physical activity, such as walking or stretching, can have significant positive effects when practiced consistently. Relaxation is another essential but often overlooked aspect of self-care. In a fast-paced and highly demanding world, individuals frequently experience continuous stress, pressure, and mental overload. Without intentional relaxation, the nervous system remains in a constant state of activation, which can lead to emotional exhaustion. Relaxation practices such as deep breathing, meditation, leisure activities, or simply taking time away from constant stimulation. These moments of rest are not signs of laziness, but necessary intervals of recovery that restore balance and improve overall productivity in the long run.
Continuous growth and forgiveness form one of the most mature and transformative dimensions of self-love because they reflect an individual's ability to accept their imperfection while still committing to improvement, learning, and emotional evolution over time. Self-love is not a static state where a person suddenly reaches complete confidence or perfection, but it is an ongoing process in which the individual learns to coexist with their mistakes and failures while still choosing to move forward with understanding rather than self-punishment. At the heart of this concept lies the understanding that mistakes are not evidence of personal failure or worthlessness, but natural and unavoidable parts of the learning process. Every human being, regardless of intelligence, experience, or discipline, makes mistakes repeatedly throughout life. These mistakes can occur in relationships, communication, or emotional responses. However, the difference between psychological stagnation and personal growth lies not in the absence of mistakes, but in how those mistakes are interpreted internally. Continuous growth means recognizing that human development is never truly complete, and forgiveness means allowing oneself to be human without being trapped in guilt or shame for past actions. An individual practicing self-love interprets mistakes as feedback, information, and opportunities for improvement. Many individuals struggle with self-forgiveness because they believe that punishing themselves internally will prevent future mistakes. Many individuals carry unresolved guilt or regret from past experiences, which can create emotional heaviness and prevent them from fully engaging with the present moment. This emotional burden often manifests as self-doubt, hesitation, or a persistent feeling of not being good enough. But self-forgiveness allows you to release this burden by acknowledging that the past cannot be changed, but its influence on the present can be transformed through understanding and acceptance. This does not erase memory or responsibility, but it changes the emotional relationship with those memories, allowing for greater peace and mental clarity. Self-love is the foundation of a balanced and meaningful life, and it grows through a continuous process of understanding, awareness, and intentional practice. Accept yourself fully, your strengths, weaknesses, and imperfections without harsh judgment. Recognize that your worth is inherent and not dependent on external validation.